Hi, this is Renee Dawson, and this is my screencast on part of my tips and tricks for 21st century teachers presentation for my technology workshop. This presentation is on different Web 2.0 tools and how they can be used for students with physical disabilities in particular, but all students can benefit from these tools. The first tools I want to talk about are the different tools available in Google. Google Drive is something that I use daily to make my life easier, but it can also help with students with their work and especially group projects. Google Drive is a drive system that enables students and teachers to be able to create different documents very similar to Microsoft Office documents. You can import different Office documents into Google Drive, and you can export documents out of Google Drive. I particularly use this because I travel to several different schools, so it makes it easier for me not to have to lug my laptop around all day with me and be able to access the documents I need to access on my mobile device or tablet. Google Forms is another Google tool that I use almost every day. Google Forms lets you create different forms or surveys to send out to people through an online link, and then when they complete the survey or the form, it populates their answers into a Google spreadsheet for you. Here's an example of one of the forms I've used this year. I coach girls lacrosse, and when I need to order food for a pregame meal, if they have choices, I usually send them a Google form. So I create a form with what it's for and then add the questions. So on this form, they just need to write their name and what kind of sandwich they want. And then I send the form to them through a link. You can shorten the URL if you need to send it through Remind or if you want to make a QR code. And then once I send them the link, they can fill out, answer the form, and it'll populate into a spreadsheet their name and what sandwich they want. I did use Google Forms earlier this year with parent information, and I was able to give the parents this link to fill out their parent information form, and then it populated it for me into a spreadsheet, so it saved me hours of time so I wasn't typing in all of their information. Another tool that Google has come out with that I really enjoy is Google Scholar. Google Scholar is just like a Google search, but it searches scholarly journals and articles or case law for you. So if I wanted to search for Web 2.0 tools, I can do that, and it'll bring up different journal articles on Web 2.0 tools for me. It sorts the articles based on how often they're cited for what you searched for, which, as we know with journal articles and scholarly reviews, that means that the more that they're cited, the more reliable we usually find them to be. The other easy thing with this is you can just click on the word cite and it'll give you choices for MLA, APA, and Chicago citations. You can also, if you log into your Kennesaw University library page, you can link it to Google Scholar, so it'll also show you what you can find through Kennesaw University, which opens up more options. But after you graduate, if you don't have access to something like this, this is a great free tool to use if you're looking for journal articles to stay current. Google has tons of free apps and extensions that are available to download and use really easily, and I wanted to share a few of my favorites with you. Build with Chrome is a 3D or a multi-dimensional building app with Legos. So students that have physical disabilities or maybe some motor delays can still build with Legos if they aren't able to manipulate them as well as their non-disabled peers, or if they're doing a STEM project and they might not be able to access something for Legos, they could use this. And it's free, and they can publish their work, and they can even go on to Google Maps and build different things on different geographical locations. Newsela is an extremely helpful free current event resource that I use a lot with students. So Newsela is a great resource for current events. It'll let you select different current event articles from a lot of different categories, depending on what you need your students to study or what their current event or your subject area is. And then the really amazing thing is that you can choose the Lexile level for these articles. So if you're teaching in a classroom that has general education students and special education students, this would be a great tool for you to use, because even if it changes the Lexile level, so here we're at the maximum Lexile level, and if we change it down to the lowest Lexile level, the picture stays the same, but the article itself changes, but it still looks like the maximum Lexile article. So if you have students that are really concerned about image or don't like to be seen reading things that look a lot easier than their peers, this would be a great tool for you to use, and it's free to use. You just have to create an account. And a lot of them, some of them have quizzes, some of them don't. So you can also do the quizzes after they read the current event article. Lucas's whiteboard is a great interactive whiteboard that you can use through Google Chrome, kind of like EduCreations. And then I use a lot of sight words, Dolch words with my students. So there's a nice flashcard app on Google Chrome that you can use, and Math Facts. And then PDF Escape is a PDF editor. So you can go in and type directly on PDF. So if you have students that can't write, if you scan the worksheets into their computer, they can open them up and then type on them and print them to submit with their work. And Picto4Me is a communication board or visual schedule generator. So kind of like if you use BoardMaker, if you're in special education, you're familiar with that. Picto4Me is very similar to BoardMaker, but it's free and it's available on Google Chrome. So I've taught a couple of my parents how to use that so that they can create picture schedules and communication boards at home for their children. Google has so many great features that I suggest that you explore because they're free and they're available at your fingertips for you to use and for your students to use.